Hey guys, what is up? Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas. I know it's a little late, but I hope you guys had a great holiday season with all your family, all of your loved ones. Hope you had a really good time and hope you got some really good presents. I know that I did. So anyways, like I said, it's the new year, it's 2020, and I'm gonna start working on this truck and do a bunch of things that I know you guys have been really looking forward to me doing. I know you're really gonna like it, you're gonna be really excited. I've actually already gotten started on doing a bunch of things, at least getting started on doing a bunch of things. And I'm actually really close to the wall and the door because the garage right now is filled with some parts that you guys are gonna see here in a little bit. You know what? I'm actually not gonna make you wait. Let's head over to where my parts are at, bring them over so you guys can see what we're getting started on. Come on, let's go. Okay guys, so we are here and we're pretty much ready to pull the axle, at least the rear axle, out of this thing. I already got started doing some things, so let me show you what I've got so far. Okay, so I was editing the video and I realized that I got a little bit excited, a little bit ahead of myself, and I never really explained to you guys what it is that I actually got. Some of you guys that have been, some of you guys that have been with the channel for a little bit longer will know what it was, but for the rest of you, let me show you what it is that I actually got. So about a year ago, I bought a rolling chassis of a 2010, I believe, F250, and so basically that was so that I could, do the swap to the 05 Plus axles, get the coil springs. The nice thing with the 08 Plus is that the rear springs are, I forget if they're like 4 or 8 inches longer than your OBS springs. So what that will do is it'll give you a much softer ride, hopefully. But yeah, now let's go back to the video and continue dismantling basically that rolling chassis. So basically the way I'm gonna pull this out is just the axle first to kind of save some weight. So I already got the drive shaft out, unhooked anything that might be still hooked up to the frame. So all the brake lines, the harness, all of that stuff came out. And now what I'm gonna do is pull out the U-bolts for the leaf springs, which are gonna stay here for now. That's gonna be the last thing I'm gonna pull out. Okay, and just like that, our rear axle is out. So now all we gotta do is pull out the leaf springs and we can move on to the front. Okay, so now we're in a little bit of a dilemma. Let me show you what we got. So we've got this big ass bolt that we gotta take out right here, and it does not want to come out. I already hit it with my impact. I did a little bit of a, where is it? Did a little bit of a sheeter bar action, and I think it's not gonna come out. I mean, it will, but it's gonna be a pain. So basically what I'm thinking about is cutting it right here and just taking it out that way, maybe on both sides, I don't know, or just this side. And I think that'll be much easier than trying to get it out, because I'm gonna try and use old new bolts anyways. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna end up doing, instead of spending all day here trying to get it out. So let's get that sawzall. Okay, so as you can see, the whole back end is out. Differential's out, leaf springs, everything is out. And my battery actually died while I was cutting out the bolt right here. But what I ended up doing is, like I said, I ended up, it's actually right here, cutting it all the way off. And actually, quick tip with these things, if you end up doing this, which I'm not sure if I recommend or not, but you don't gotta cut all the way through. Sometimes about halfway, or a little bit more than halfway. Cut it and then twist it off, and it'll break off. That way you don't have to be here cutting it all the way through. But like I said, I ended up cutting it on the inside of this on both sides. And like I said, I don't know if I would recommend it, just because, well, I'll show you once we get out to the house and we can see the leaf springs. Because like I said, I took all this stuff out home. So now, like I already showed you, the back end is already out and the front end is completely out, just waiting to be removed. So basically what I did is, obviously I jacked up everything. Right now I have the jacks behind kind of where the control arms were, but at first I had them up here So lifted this whole thing up. Oh, and I had him back up here because I first tried it out on the front right there, on the middle. And the front end was so heavy compared to the back that it was actually kind of teetering on them. So what I did is I took them, put them on the front, I hooked everything, took the springs out, everything, and then moved them back to the middle of the frame. And on the front end, obviously, just like on the back, I unhooked everything that was connected to the frame. So track bar. So first I did the control arms, undid the bolt on either side, and that pretty much dropped. And then I did my shock. After I did my shock, the whole thing basically dropped, and at that point it was pretty much ready. So what I did to take the spring completely out is I took my jack and I put it right under here and jacked it up just enough so that the spring would come out, and did the same thing on both sides. And that's pretty much it. The only thing that I did after that is I took, with my jack still here, I took my jack stand from the front to the back on both sides. That way it'll give me, I should be able to just pull this all the way out. And that's pretty much what I'm gonna do right now. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, as you saw, I hooked it up to the truck. Didn't go super smooth, but I got it out, which is all that counts. These things are freaking heavy. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna put them in the back of my truck and how I'm gonna get them back out, but I'll figure it out. Now, basically the last couple things that I'm gonna do is take off the control arms and the shocks, and that's gonna be just to make this thing a little bit lighter, because like I said, they are freaking heavy. I'm even thinking about taking the whole steering out, just because I know that I'm gonna be replacing a lot of the bushings and, you know, whatnot on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. So I got everything out, and I was ready to load it in the back of my truck. And like I said, this thing's freaking heavy, so I anticipated it to be heavy, so I brought out a friend to try and load it, the front diff, and it was just not happening. It is way too heavy. I would say it's probably like around north of 300 pounds, like at least 350, if not like 400 or 500 pounds. Like, this thing is a monster. So I ended up doing some shopping to hopefully help me get this in the back of my truck. And let me show you what I got real quick. So this is what I ended up getting: a Harbor Freight shop crane, engine hoist, cherry picker, whatever you want to call this. It's a 1 ton, which should be enough to pick this up. Even on its lightest setting, which is this one, it's a 1/4 ton, which is 500 pounds, which should be more than enough to pick this thing up. Although I do have it in the 1/2 ton setting, which is 1,000 pounds, which should lift this up no problem. The only thing is that I got to position this in a way that I can lift it up and back my truck underneath it so I can lower it, because that thing is not moving on the dirt at all. So that's fine, as long as I can pick it up enough to back up my truck and put it in the back of it. So which is kind of what I'm doing right now. Another thing that I might as well point out is that the center of gravity for this thing is right about to the right of the pumpkin, where the housing, where the pumpkin kind of meets the tube. Right around there is about, you know, as level as you're gonna get this thing. So basically, like you saw, I picked it up off the ground high enough to back up the truck, you know, just at least halfway onto it, so that when I lowered it, it wouldn't fall back down. And then what I did is, once it was, you know, resting on the truck, I moved my my rigging a little bit further back, as far back as this would reach. And then I picked it up again. Then I jumped on the back of the truck, the bed, picked up that side and slid it in. And as you saw, I did that a couple of times, and that worked out perfectly. I was able to load the axle at least far enough into the back of the truck where I know that it's not going to slide out. And I'm going to leave it as is. The drive to my house is not that far. It's about 5 minutes, 35 miles an hour the whole way there. So it's nothing crazy. And I'm only gonna load one right now because I think that's gonna be the easiest way, because I still gotta take this to unload that at the house and then come back and pick up the other one. And I also gotta load the tires, the wheels and tires, because I gotta be able to take it home, put it back on its wheels and tires, and roll it around wherever I need it at the house. Okay guys, so we made it back and everything is in one piece. We put back together the little cherry picker, the little engine hoist, and we have it rigged up back onto the axle. Now I have a feeling that this is going to be a little bit harder. Man, all kinds of glare on you guys. That this is going to be a little bit harder than loading it on, just because the truck's in a little bit of a slant. But we're going to give it a try and see what happens. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay guys, and I don't want to make you go through the whole process of me going and getting the rear axle, but it's also over here back at the house. And now all we have left to do is just start tearing into them, take the brakes off, everything we have, everything we can off. We're gonna take the covers off on both of them, do oil changes, replace any seals that might need replacing. Like I know that on this one it needs this seal right here replaced, so we're gonna have to take care of that. This side as well, as you can see, it's full of oil right there, so we have to do that. So we're gonna have to do that. Other than that, like a lot of things like this bushings, I mean, I'm not an expert on these things, you know. I'm actually never taken a look at one, but they actually look in pretty good shape if you ask me. I'm pretty happy with them. Everything else looks pretty good too. One thing that I'm not sure on is if the yoke from my OBS will fit on this one, because as you can see, it didn't come with one. So we're gonna have to either see if that one will work on this one or get a whole new one, which, you know, it's no big deal. Another thing that we're gonna do is obviously go through the whole brake system, get new brake pads, probably new disc on there too. Same with the back rear end. They look fairly decent. We might be able to just turn them, but we'll see once we get to that, because the budget is about this big. But we also want to do things right, you know, because we want this thing to be good. You know, if any brake companies want to sponsor me, any companies want to sponsor the channel, I'm more than open to it. But for right now, everything is coming out of my pocket, as well as some parts that I bought to make this happen. I'll save that for the next video, because I think you guys are going to be really excited and they're going to like what I got. It's going to make this process for any of you that are doing this swap way easier. But yeah, hope you liked the video. Like I said, I'm super excited for what is coming here in the next month or two, or, you know, for the rest of 2020. Basically, I'm super excited. I really want to get the axle, suspension, all of that stuff, you know, dialed in. We're also gonna get new wheels and tires for the truck, and we're also, I know I've said this a lot, but I think we're gonna be painting the truck, which I'm super excited for. And we're also gonna start doing some interior work. So this truck, it's gonna look nice. Basically, my whole goal for this truck is, it's not gonna be like a show truck, because it takes a lot, you know, like just doing normal things like this is not gonna make that a show truck. But I want it to be a truck that I can take, you know, to shows, to cars and coffees, you know, just on a cruise, and that it's gonna look good. But that I can also, you know, drive it, you know, take it places, maybe go camping with it, you know, go a little bit off-road with it. Although in 2020, I also want to start a few new projects for the channel. I don't know what they are yet, but I know that I do want to bring more projects for the channels. I don't know if it's going to be another OBS or something else like you might have seen when I went and grabbed these axles. I don't know. I'm a little crazy, but we'll see what happens. But like I said, let's get back to it. I'm going to start making more videos. And if you guys have any questions at all, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them and get back at answering the comments. I know that I've been really bad at answering comments too lately. That's just because, like I said, I've been super busy. But anyways, Man, I've been saying that a lot, huh? Anyways. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully I'll drop the next video here in a couple days, and we'll keep that schedule. So anyways, I'll see you on the next one. See you.